put me in a car and took me to the Royal Melbourne Hospital where I had an emergency operation, and it was cancer, which I suppose I thought it was, but didn't want to admit. Well, and Helen Gardner was a customer of ours, and she knew that I'd been ill, and she knew I'd had an operation, and she knew I wasn't very happy with that. And her niece was running a class for people over 60, which had to do with balance and flexibility and everything, and I thought that sounded great. And we came to that, and then you asked us to partake in the research program, which time-wise ended up perfectly, because when we came for the first lesson I still had a colostomy bag, which I was very, very keen to get reversed, and in between the first lesson and the research start I had the bag removed, and at time-wise it worked out in exactly the 3 months where I could do something again.
Oh, great.
And then we had the 8 lessons and enjoyed them so much, and it made such a difference to our fitness that we kept going, and we're still here.
Good, great.
And we intend to keep going.
Good.
Pilates has made a difference because A, I don't like not being well. B, I wanted to show my granddaughter that people get sick but they get better as well. They don't necessarily stay sick. And between the 2 operations I started walking a lot and trying to get myself as fit as I could possibly be before I had the second operation, so I'd get over it quicker, which has worked out. And then Pilates sort of came along, and I think now I'm probably fitter than I've been for a long, long time. Well, as I said before, I'd been sick for a while, and then I was taken to hospital and I had the major operation, and it was quite a big cut and a colostomy bag. And when you have things like that, you work out strategies to how to cope with things, and using my arms to sit down and get up was one of the things I did. And after the second operation, and when I had the colostomy bag, I had a lot of backache, and because your body's slightly out of alignment, and even after the second operation, when the bag was removed, you still had alignment problems, and I developed strategies to cope with it and keep moving. And if I hadn't come to Pilates and you hadn't told me to do these things, I would never have realised. And I would still be doing that now. The bad points would just have become the way I lived my life. And I might have been able to walk around the block, but I wouldn't have been able to do it the way I can do it now. Because the first time I came and you told me to sit down, and I put my hands out and plop and use my hands to get up, and then you said do it without your hands, and I just plopped down and couldn't get up. And now I don't sit down using my hands anymore, so that bad strategy has gone. I like the weights, very fond of the weights, and I think I like anything that sort of opens up the chest, because I think that's because during the operation I had a collapsed lung and had a bit of trouble breathing, and anything that involves deep breathing, I just keep thinking is really, really good for me. And I love the leg work as well, because I want to be able to walk a lot and ride a bike and do things. Paul and Ava bought a paddleboard, and I've always loved water sports of any description. I'm a very keen swimmer and did a lot of swimming for a long time, and I just really, really wanted to do this, and I really, really didn't want to fall off. And Pilates sort of helped with the core strength because I'm certain that if I hadn't done Pilates, I wouldn't have had the balance and I would have been swimming along Lake Sandwell, which is very cold actually. But it didn't happen, I stayed on.
And what was that feeling like when you...
It was just terrific. It was just terrific.
Wonderful.
I felt really proud of myself. The scootering and I wouldn't have got up on the pedal board. I wouldn't have, because Paul said to me, kneel on the board first and then stand up, and I did think that's going to work, and it did. And without Pilates, no, it wouldn't have worked because my legs were a lot stronger, my core strength was there, and it all sort of worked together and made it happen. Well, at the moment, I'm trying to get as fit as I possibly can because in September I'm going to Amsterdam by myself 2 weeks. And I'll have to do a lot of walking and hopefully maybe some bike riding. So there you are. Got to get the legs going.